In this video, I share 8 approaches to insert sequential numbers into your Excel spreadsheet. And for the purpose of this lesson, we are going to limit ourselves to a count of 12. So under option A, I insert 1. And just below it, I insert 2. Highlight through both numbers. Then drag all the way down till you meet your 12th count. For option B, we insert 1 and then highlight through the cell to the right, then drag down once you find the plus sign. For option C, we are going to add an incremental number of 1. So for the very first cell, we insert 1. Just below it, we set the equal to sign, select the first one, then add 1. So with the cell containing the formula of this plus 1, we can simply drag down to fill the rest. Then for option D, we use the row function equal to row. What this function does for us is it returns the row index of the cell that you have selected. As we may know it, these are columns and then these are rows, and every cell is made up of a row and a column. So for our purpose, we are going to use A1 as our reference. Because we selected A1, we would expect the row function to return for us 1, which is really the row part of the cell. So as you can see, A1 means A is the column and then 1 is the row. So I press enter. That does it for us, and we can drag through. So when we come to 7, it's referencing this. Of course, we did not lock. If we go to 9, same. For option E, we are going to use the plural for today, that's rows. Then it's requesting for an array. An array is a combination of or a range of cells. So we are going to select this range just to test how the function works. And when I press enter, it's returning for us 4 because I highlighted 4 cells. So the rows function returns for us the number of cells, the number of rows for the cell selection you have done. So equal to rows, we select A1 and then introduce our column. That pops out the A1 again. We close the bracket. And this is a range, but it's going to return for us 1 because it's just one cell that we have selected effectively. But we go in there to modify the formula again by locking the opening part of the range. So we do that and press enter. Once you do that, that means as we fill down, the formula will still be referencing the A1 as the opening part, but the closing parts or the ending point will be changing accordingly. So we do that. Okay, so we have this effect for the rest. So when we go to 7, it's referencing A1 all through to A7. Okay, so for option F, we're going to use the series function under home. So we go to home. Before we do that, we need to insert 1 and then come back to that cell before we go to home. Then fill series. We're going to fill series in a column, which is column H, and then by what increment. So that's the step value by 1, and we want to stop on 12. So that's the stop value. Go to OK. Populate for us the rest. For Gen, we are going to use a relatively new function called sequence. So equal to sequence. So it's asking for us to fill the number of rows. So we want 12 rows, comma, The columns is optional, we don't need it now, so we insert another comma, and we are starting from 1, which is the start. Then the step is asking for the incremental value we want to add, which is 1 again. So we close our bracket and press enter. Because it's a dynamic array function, the result spells for us in the remaining cells. Then for the last approach, we are going to insert a helper column. So this is really a practical approach where we have data on our right and we want to insert numbers based on the data we have in here. So first of all, I insert the months of the year. So I drag through to December. Then just beside January, I insert my formula equal to if. We are going to combine two functions, if and count A. So if January, whatever value we have here, is equal to nothing, or there's no data, or it's empty, we represent that with a double quote. So if case 6 is equal to double quote or empty or nothing, then we do not want to see anything. Again, empty, that's double quotes. Otherwise, we want to return a value based on this formula, count A, that's count all. It counts values in a range of cells that you've selected. So we select January, which is K6, insert our colon again. Just as we did for the rows function, we close the bracket and then lock the opening cell, so that as we go down, it's still referring to K6, so that it counts for the value in the range wherever we find ourselves. So after this, we can close the bracket again and press enter and double click. Okay, so the interesting thing about this is that you can simply make amendments to your data and you have the numbers update accordingly. So we delete March, and then let's say we update again by deleting August. As we do that, you realize the numbers update automatically. So thank you for watching this video. Let me know your favorite of these functions. Thank you.